Hey everyone, it is November, which we all know it's the start of a new month, which means great recommendations of incredible knowledge, things that I believe that can help us all improve as developers that I want to share with all of you lovely and amazing people. Hey everyone, I hope you're well, playing and making the games that you all love. You're joining me, your host, Principal Mission Designer, Max Pears. Pleasure to be with you, and I hope you're having a great day, evening, or night, whenever it is that you're tuning into the podcast. I really do appreciate it, and yeah, just thank you very much for joining me. This one has been a really cool one. We've got a few different books and a few different things that I've been looking at recently that I really wanted to share for it. I hope you enjoyed Halloween as well. Feels a shame when you get older with Halloween for it. I always feel like I'm kind of at the age where like going to Halloween parties isn't necessarily the norm either now. So it's a bit of a strange middle ground I find myself in. I don't think anyone wants to give a man in his 30s sweets when he comes knocking on their door as well, or candies for our American listeners for it. But without further ado, let's actually go through recommendations that I have for all of you lovely people.
But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Neon Zone. Neon Zone is a memory puzzle game in which you get 3 seconds to memorize the more increasing intricate levels as you navigate your vehicle through those spaces, making sure that you put your memory through the test. This is available on iOS, and a really enjoyable game that I really had a great time learning and trying to beat my own memory for. And with that, there is a promo code down below where you're able to get access to it as well with more and more levels. So please enjoy and help support the team making this for it. Thank you.
The first one that I actually want to recommend is this book here called Giving Effective Feedback. I've zoomed in. For those of you listening to the book, again, all of these will be linked down in the description for you to get your hands on. But what I've really liked about this book here has been the fact that it's been just great at discussing how to give feedback, right? Like we talk about this, especially this kind of branch of episodes, is how we're constantly trying to improve, right? We learn from other incredible developers who have been kind enough, great enough to share their knowledge with all of us, right? And for me, part of like learning is obviously you get feedback, whether that be from the colleagues, from online, or the best place would be that of your lead or tutors, right? But it's one important thing that I think is how do we actually give feedback as well? Regardless whether you're in a lead position or if you're in that of someone just starting in, at the end of the day, you will be reviewing work, working with people. And I think it's been a really eye-opening one to kind of see, well, what are the better ways to do this? And there's definitely times where I've not done it correctly, or I've been on the receiving end where I felt it wasn't handled in the right way. So I think having a better understanding of this is really important. And the fact I think it's like 90 pages, so it's a really short read, and strongly recommend it. I think it's one that's just worth checking out for all of us. I think we can all give and receive feedback in far better ways, and at the end of the day, it really is part of our jobs to do this, and constantly for our careers to grow and improve as well as level designers. So I think it's really crucial for that really team. So yeah, I really recommend this first one. Now the second one, in terms of, because the fact that we're on books, is that of the 99% Invisible City here. So it's similar to obviously one of the big books that we've talked about, another designer talked about, which is the design of everyday things. Is similarities in this is in like, well, how do cities work? What is it that we do that we don't see that help communicate for it towards that of us, the users of these cities, and how does that differ for it? And I've really loved that of the different sketches in terms of some of these places as well, to really just show us how is it that everything connects. And of course I can't seem to find it when I need it, team. But yeah, I just think it's been fascinating to see for it in terms of like they discuss about building codes, how do these regulations design it for it, and then that of for traffic as well, how do we design different lanes, footpaths within it. And I always say it is that of a different style of book for it, but I think again a very crucial item for it, all in all, with everything. So I've been very fascinated to see again all the things that we technically don't see from it all. So being able to learn more from this, read more on aspects that we don't think about, and especially as we go through and design open worlds. Obviously, as you know, I've worked on 2 open world games, one based on that of existing city of New York, to one in the more kind of fictional cities of that of Night City itself. And again, because they're both heavily dense metropolis cities, they are very different in that sense of, well, how would the rules be used? And especially when you look at, say, Night City, where we have traffic systems, elements like that, right? Like rules for that within it. Grand Theft Auto does a great job with their systemic approaches. And just looking again, like, how is it even just on foot? How do we make things make sense, and how do we move around the world? Like Midgar in Final Fantasy VII, to me, especially now in its HD remake, you can definitely look and go, wait, how does this, like, why would this work? But it does. It really makes you buy into the fantasy of that world. And again, it's all about understanding how it is that we understand the small things that kind of connect us. We talked a little bit on the Silent Hill episode about spaces being twisted and warped in that sense of horror, because although it looks like that of a space, it actually doesn't work like that. And I think that's been a very fascinating one to see. So yeah, great one with that one. But first, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is none other than me. What I've done, everyone, and I hope you're excited for this, is I've actually created a level design kind of store. What I've done in this store is put up different kinds of tips and tricks that you can find there, whether that be my actual ebook itself, to that of level design pamphlets focused on different things such as traversal, stealth, breaking into the industry, as well as different talks that I have done which you cannot find anywhere else other than on this store. So if you are looking to improve on your level design skills and processes, then check out the Level Design Store, which will be down in the description below, where there'll be a link to find this. All you need to do is head over to gumroad.com/level design lobby. I hope you like what you see, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you, and now back to the show. Always have to do this, team. We know what's coming up. It is the shameful plug of one of my actual contents, which is the talk on Unifying Visions, right? We've mentioned it already. It came up not long ago. I did have to take it down just to speak with some people about certain things, but it's back up again. And it really is about, again, how we as a team kind of really work together and communicate with a team of that of LDs, but other teams within that, our workflow, pipelines, processes, equipment as well, which I think is really important, because nailing down not only your pipeline as an LD is super important. We've gone through these in different ways before, but having sure that you've got your teams in mind as well, and that everyone's kind of following it for it, is super important. Because I've seen it and experienced it where things have gone awry, or people aren't necessarily following, or they're putting in their own things because they think it's really helpful, but not sharing with the team. And again, it's great to see, but it can cause a lot of confusion and then starts to deviate, which at first doesn't seem like much, but eventually it starts to cause a bigger kind of crack and divide for it. And again, just elements on that. So I really recommend this one. Obviously, myself and Johnny worked really hard on getting this set up. I do think it was one that very much worked, and I really, really, really believe that people enjoyed it when they saw it. And yeah, hopefully it's just there to help all of you have something to learn about with it as well. So I really hope that you do kind of check this out for it, team. So that is our Unifying division from DevCon 2024. This is our 5th one, actually, which is quite surprising because we've rattled through quite a lot really fast on this one. I think it's because the book, first book's only 90 pages, so it's really hard to sell that for you. I always try to walk the fine line of that element of sharing the information but not going too far that it spoils it for obviously all the hardworking people on this as well. The final one to it is The Fog of Woe. What the Silent Hill 2 remake gets right about immersion, the immersing players in its world. And it's a really interesting one by that. I'm sorry, Michael, I'm going to butcher your last name, mate. I do apologize. Michael Sabag, talking about that, of what he really enjoyed about the redesign of that of Silent Hill 2. It goes into a lot of different ones for it, and what he's kind of learning for it. And it's coming at a design point of view, which I really, really do appreciate for it. And yeah, I think that's a really fascinating one to have. We talked about design of Silent Hill, Shattered Memories in last month in October for it. To go check that video out as well. But Silent Hill 2, as many of you know, I'm a fan of both the original and that of the remake, and I'm really happy it's there for it. Yeah, I've been really, really excited to see it and to see so many other people enjoy it. So to hear his take on what he believes is another great one is perfect to see. And I'm going to throw another one in here because I felt that we have gone through too many too quickly. But it's on a game that it's been out for a while, but it's just released on consoles. I think it was last week, and really late of October, was that of the game called Slay the Princess, and kind of talking about that of the player-centered narrative, how it is that they encourage the player to, I guess, rediscover, apply their approaches as they come through and play this. As you can do multiple different ways. It's not normally the type of game that I personally play, but I really did enjoy. This one it just felt a little bit different, and just kind of discussing again, how does narrative work from it, right? Like, how does one small interaction then kind of web off to different options, and how then these can be used for it. There's a really good diagram here they have of it, which is kind of talking about like the over immersion, kind of like what each branch leads to for it. And yeah, it was a very fascinating game for me to see. And again, it's not the usual one that I play, but I really enjoyed something different for it. So it is that kind of like choose your own adventure style game where the objective, or I should say, is slay the princess, but how you get there, what choices do you make when you do it, all of those kind of come to different conclusions and different options as you go through and explore the spaces, and then kind of the ramifications that has for it. So kind of breaking that down from a narrative point of view is fascinating as well. So those are the ones that I'm going to recommend to all of you lovely people. So to go through them as a flashback, we have that of the first book, which is Giving Effective Feedback, a 20-minute manager, which obviously you can't be a good manager in 20 minutes, but you can learn a lot from this. We then have the 99% Invisibility City, in which that of how these everyday kind of aspects of urban design really kind of impacts and helps make the spaces that we are in and go through a lot more easier for it. We then had that of mine and Johnny's talk, which is Unifying Visions from DevCon this year, 2024. We then move on to that blog of, we just had it, guys, I'm trying to find it again, here it is, Fog of Woe, kind of discussing the designs and the remake of that of Silent Hill 2, to finally end that one on a deeper dive into the narrative of Slay the Princess. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, really do appreciate it. I have a big announcement coming soon. If some of you follow me on Twitter, you will have seen some kind of hints and teasers to something that I've been working on during Blocktober. So I'm very excited to share more of that with you soon, and I'm hoping it'll be something that can be useful to many of you moving forward, as I've really tried to just make this really important. Really important. I'm trying not to give too much away. I'm sure most of you will guess what it is, but really important in terms of how we speed up our pipelines, as we discussed earlier. And I'm hoping it can give people a bit more confidence when they're trying to start and break out into the industry for it with building portfolios. So it's something I definitely wish I would have had in a bit clearer cut when I was younger trying to come in. So hopefully, like I said, more to be said soon. So very excited for that one. So yeah, team, really appreciate it. Take care. And catch you all soon. You can get in contact with me by email show levelsdesignlobby@gmail.com. Also on Twitter @MaxPez. And keep it up. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.